Hi everyone, this is Piyush Ranjan, the founder and chief consultant of Management Masters, a boutique admissions consultancy firm for the top MBA and MIM programs in the world. Now, this is the fourth part in the video series that we have where we are interviewing some of the successful candidates from the top B schools in the world. Today we have a very special guest. He's a very close friend of mine. We studied together at IIT BHU, and since then he has worked in some of the biggest companies in the world like Oracle, Goldman Sachs, Kartheko, and currently he's working as product manager at Capillary Technologies. He did his MBA from ISB in 2015. So let's hear it from him. Harsh, welcome to the interview. Thank you so much for
Hey,
giving
hi
us
guys.
time. Can you please give us a small introduction to our viewers about what you have been doing and how has your journey been since you did your MBA?
Hey, hi guys. Like Piyush already mentioned that I'm currently working with Capillary Technologies and also work with Cardeco and Goldman Sachs and Oracle. I'll brief you about the timeline or the journey that I have been through till now. I graduated like Piyush said, with him in 2011 from IIT BHU. From there, I joined Oracle as a software developer. So while working at Oracle, I realized that product management is something that I am very keen in, and it's something I want to pursue as a career opportunity. Then I had multiple options back then, either to seek out product management opportunities within Oracle, or go to some startup, or do my master's so that it gives me it gives me a good opportunity for product management. I explored all the options and I found that masters is something that will be an added advantage along with the thing that I'm getting into product management. Then after that, I started picking up colleges. ISB came out to be a very good option for me. I did my masters from ISB. Then unfortunately, I could not get into product management directly from ISB. I got an opportunity with Goldman Sachs. Uh, I spent some time there, and then I realized this that I actually want to. I'm actually keen into product management, so I moved to Cardeco as a product manager, and then from there I moved to Capillary as a product manager. That's a small journey that I have. Yeah, so we can continue from here.
That's amazing, Harsh. Thank you so much for those insights. So you mentioned that you moved on to ISB for getting into a product management role, but can you
Yeah.
tell us a bit more about your journey of when you started applying to ISB for your MBA? Did you also apply to some other schools, and what were the problems that you faced when you started applying when you started your application procedure?
Sure. So the thing is, I started exploring the colleges that I wanted to apply. So for sure, there are few filters that I put in when I was selecting a college. One was obviously someone who's good at product management, and the opportunities that I get after ISB is something that is helpful in getting me into product management. Second, I did not want to continue a 2 years program. Reason being that I somehow felt that I already have 3 years of experience. 2 years may not be a great thing, and I wanted to accelerate my career with 1 year, 1 year of MBA or any masters. So these were the two criterias. Then I started applying. Unfortunately, I only applied to ISB and got through that. Yeah, that's great, and that's two in the first attempt. So I'm happy for that. Yeah. So the way it started is like obviously it started like I did prepare for CAT during college days. So obviously being an engineer, maths and everything was good. English wasn't great. So yeah. So when I realized that ISP is something that I want to get into, I started preparing for GMAT. I gave my GMAT first attempt was 690. I realized that given the background that I had and the kind of work that I have done, I might be a bit short on GMAT score. So this helped. This actually this. So I asked a lot of alums who are already part of ISB, who graduated from ISB and had a similar profile. They said that at least cross 700. That will be really helpful for you. So I reattempted GMAT after 15-20 days. Fortunately, I got 710, which I believe that it's a at par score because the extracurricular thing and the background that I had, I knew that this is something is at par score, and I did not want to give another attempt to GMAT. And also, so the way it happened is basically I'll tell you a brief on the timeline. So my first GMAT attempt was roughly 30 days before the round two closure of ISB, and then I realized 690. So parallelly, what I started doing, I preparing my essay. I started preparing the application, essay being the part of one, part of that, and I also attempted the second. I also was preparing for the second attempt of GMAT. So the round two closure was 30th November or something. I don't remember now. And I wrote the GMAT on 26th of November. Yeah, and then by 29th I submitted my application. I got the results by 26th, but that wasn't the hard copy of the result. I was not available. Fortunately, ISB had this thing that you can still submit the results. If you have the tentative score, you can submit in the application, and the main results can come in 10 days. So that's how it happened. Yeah.
So
Uh,
when I'm talking with other candidates and prospective candidates,
hmm,
basically for who are looking to apply for next year for MBA and MIM
hmm.
programs, I always tell them that while they're preparing for GMAT, they should also start preparing on their profile, because if
Yeah, that's very important.
yeah, because they need to work on both of these things in parallel. Because if they just postpone their application preparation uh, for after GMAT, then they might not be left with a lot of time.
That's true.
And you give a very good example that while you were preparing for your second attempt at GMAT, you already started preparing your application. If you had waited until 26th of November to prepare to give your GMAT and then
I could not have completed my application for sure.
yeah, so that's something very very important that you touch upon. So thanks for that. So you mentioned very clearly about the ISB essays. So could you give us a bit of insight on how did you tackle those essays? They were, I think, two essays at your time. One
Yeah.
asked you to illustrate some examples of your experiences, and other one was why ISB. So how did you go about approaching these essays?
So one thing that came out very clearly is that I had a very clear goal when I was writing the essay. A few things which actually helped is one was the stories were real, and second was there is no jazziness in the essays. I have seen essays of different people; they were very verbose, very jazzy, which I felt. And when I see my essay, they were like it was written in very lame words, but actually the story was coming out, and it worked for me. To be
The,
honest, it worked for me.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
obviously.
yeah,
So
so the
obviously it
way it
worked for you.
happened was yeah. So what happened, so I created a very rough draft of my story. So this is story, this is my story, these are the essay content that I want to put in. And and then I gave it to Piyush, of course, because Piyush helped me during the essay. Yeah, but to be honest, and that's why I think we are having this discussion here. Yeah. Yeah, so Piyush actually helped me crafting that story in a very crisp and very natural form. So it's like a story coming out rather than a very jazzy thing going up in the air.
Yeah, I kind of remember going through your essays, and then we had having a chat, and then taking out all the extra bits out of it,
Yes.
because the word limit is also very very
Yeah,
it's
it was 300 back then. Yeah,
yeah, so 300
300 back
words,
then.
and that requires you to put in two experiences, and that's not
Yeah,
enough words. So you have to be very very clear. You have to be very concise with what you actually write, and what every single word that you put in the essay needs to make sense. It needs to help
yeah,
contribute to your success. So thank you for bringing back those memories. Those were
yeah. Yeah,
uh,
so once I think once Piyush's essay feedback came in, I incorporated that, and then I tried to see if still making the story or not. And I showed it to few of my mentors back then, who were helping me with my GMAT preparation. They said, "Yeah, the story looks good, the essays look good," and that's it. And I few like no one ever told me that the essay is not up to mark. They all said the essay looks good, and I went with the story that I wanted to show, and I went with my story, original story that was there back then. Still, it's there, I believe, and I went ahead with that, and it worked. And the
perfect.
good part is that, good part is that since when your story is very honest and this is what you have, then everything during interview was very easy for me. Then, like I was sitting there confidently because I know that whatever is there is there. It's my story. I can sell it anytime. You can ask me anything in the story, and I was pretty comfortable doing that.
That's
Yeah. So
That's also another very, very important point that you mentioned, because the story is your own, everything is super real, and you know every bit of that story. That lends you a lot of confidence when
Yeah,
you're talking to people in the interview. And ISP has a sort of pressure interviews. I
yeah, that's
know
true.
because I had an interview with ISB. It was a very pressured interview. I did not get through for the early entry option.
So I tell you, like in the interview panel, I had two people. One was like sleeping, to be honest. He was not interested at all in the interview.
I think we will edit this part
And
out.
second was, yeah, pretty much interested. No, no, no. So I think it wasn't because he was not interested. It was more of creating a pressure situation where someone is not interested and you still can hold your ground and show that, yeah, you are interested. It's
Yeah,
not that the guy was not interested. In fact,
yeah.
after the interview, we were walking back to the lawn to get the cab. Then I had a word with him. Then we had a small, like, 2-3 minutes chat. So it's not that he was not interested. I think he was playing with me during the interview.
Okay, that's a very, very nice tip
Yeah.
as well to keep in mind. It's been very, very interesting to hear about your journey to ISP, and of course within ISP your journey must have been very, 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 very interesting and very, very fruitful. So can you tell us a bit more about what happened after ISP? So you have been to multiple companies after ISP in different roles that you have wanted.
To be honest, I wanted to get into product management. I could not go through during the interviews, campus placements at ISB. Reason being, there are some placement policies that you have to adhere with. It's a very short window where you have to take a call. So I had two options. One, a product management role with a not so known company, and that was a bit risky, I believe. And then another was Goldman Sachs, and which was, I think, was semi product management role that was given to me. Yeah. So I took a call, let's move to Goldman. It worked out good. Like, the work was good, the company is great, everything was good. But then one day I asked myself, is it something that I want to do? Like, because the way where I wanted to move, is it moving in the right direction? The answer came out that no. And I had to take a call, quick decision, what I want to do in life. So I said, okay, let's give it a shot. Maybe GS is something that can happen again in your life if you want, if you try hard, really hard. But let's give it a shot once more for product management. Gave it, I moved to Cardeco, then Capillary happened. Yeah. I think, see, the thing is, like, my career, the way I look at my career is that you set your goal and rest everything is a process. And when you set a goal, make sure that you want to achieve that goal. And it's something that you want to achieve. No, not someone else want you to achieve that goal. Not to doing it because of peer pressure, not doing it because everyone is doing it. You set your own goal and rest will follow. Like, rest is just a process. Like, just a process. Like, I know people who come to me and ask me, hey, I want to get into ISB. I want to do my master's from IIM Ahmedabad. The first question is why and what you want to do after that. So if these two things are clear and you are like confident this is what your path is, then you will figure out a way to do it. If you have a tiny bit of doubt, is this is something I don't want to do, or this is something that I'm doing because I want to do, then it's a tough, because you won't give your 100% to the processes that needs to take you to there. So I think, because everyone is, so whenever someone is like already graduated from, has done any BTech or BCom or graduation, you have a good general knowledge, to be honest, and you have grown a good analytical skills as well. So knowledge, or I think knowledge wise, there is no gap, right? Maybe few people could be very better, they are like superstars of the world. I won't consider them for the discussion, but yeah. So I think capability wise, the problem is not there. It's only set your goal and just do it.
Those are some amazing, amazing advices, and also, your wisdom is shining through those advices, because it's very important to set your goal and to know why you actually want to achieve that goal. Without that, your plans might not really work the way you want them to. So this has been amazing. So just one quick question, since before we end this interview, what are your future plans? Have your goalposts shifted?
For the next 3 years, it's pretty much what I want to do. I'm clear.
Okay.
Then let's see. Like, if I have enough money, if I have if I have enough money, I mean, I may start something if I still want to continue in a corporate world. Then I'll continue in a corporate world. Yeah, but that's decision is parked for next 3 years. Like after 3 years is something I'll take. Till then,
Yes,
I'm here settled. Yeah.
perfect. It has been amazing talking to you, Harsh.
Same
And
here, Piyush.
thank you so much for joining us, and I wish you the best for all your future plans.